Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another YouTube session. I hope you had a great trading week, and like I said, welcome to Q4. We will be starting with Q4. So, guys, last week there was nothing much happening in the market. As you know, Q4 is a bit slow, like I said, so that's what has been happening. But all in all, we will be looking to take trades this week. So, guys, first things first, I'm gonna start with the DXY as usual. So with the DXY, guys, when I look at it from the whole structure, remember what I've been saying, guys. I've been saying that I was waiting for it to push, to come and give us a push here to the third touch, right? So now we got that push. So now it's about time we wait and see what's going to happen from that push, okay? So now when I go to the daily time frame now, remember, guys, this thing will not just push and reverse same time, okay? So this structure took a long time to come here. So when I go to the daily time frame, what I can see here is that we are still here going up. We are still in an upward trend. So from here now we got this big push to the downside here on the third touch, and then now what we had here, we had a retracement, a full retracement, right? So now when I go to the 4-hour, when I go to the forward time frame now, from what I'm seeing here is that from this big impulse we had a full retracement, and then when you look inside this retracement, what we have the impulse, the correction, the impulse, the correction. So now what I'm expecting is that we might get here something of a bigger correction. From this point onwards, we might get a bigger correction, and then from this bigger correction we can now come here and give us this nice double top formation. And from this double top formation, that is where, guys, we will be able to update you to say what is going to happen next, and then we'll see where the market is going to go next. But after all this double top, we might get that double top and a move. Now our move to the downside might start, okay? So now next week you'll just be aware of this, just be careful of this and watch out for this DXY. It might play out really nice. So now moving right along, I'll be going to USD CAD. With USD CAD, guys, it's almost the same thing. Okay, so if I go to the weekly time frame, I want you to look at the whole picture right here. So what I'm seeing here, guys, on the USD CAD weekly time frame is that we are from the impulse, right? And then this could be the correction. But then if you look at it from the higher time frame perspective, right, if you look at it from the higher time frame perspective, and I remove the higher horizontal rays from here and I remove this one here, what you guys can see now is that what we just have here is just a big it's just a big bull flag that is forming. So what we can see here is that here we had this push, and then we had this push. So what we expect another push to the upside. So now it means that here on the long run we are expecting a push to the upside. So now what's happening in here, now I want to see, as you can see, we have these areas here that have been broken by structure, and then we have these areas that have been broken by structure. So if I can just remove literally everything here, and then I can just highlight my highs here and I highlight my lows here. So what's happening now here is that now I want to understand what exactly is happening here. So when I go to the forward time frame, when I quickly go to the forward time frame, what I can see is that we are indeed from the impulse, and then here what is happening here is that this could be our correction, right? And then when you look at this correction, this looks like a nice bull flag that might be forming. So we'll be waiting for this bull flag to complete, come and give us a move. If it gives us here a third touch, and then a push to the upside again. So these are the trades that we'll be looking to take for next week. So we'll be looking to take this move here to the downside, and then obviously when it comes back here, we'll be waiting to take it all the way to the upside to continue with the impulse, or to continue with the direction of the trend. Okay, so now again, guys, what was I? Yes, we'll be waiting to take it to the direction of the trend. So now again, guys, what we'll be waiting for now here on this third touch, if this price comes back here and then it breaks together like how the DXY is going, this move will be together with the DXY, and then from here it's the same thing. The DXY will be there, and then this one will be here, and then we'll see what is going to happen, right? So now moving right along, we'll be moving to Euro JPY. I did a little Euro JPY. So guys, when you look at Euro JPY, if I did some little pattern separation, let me quickly go to the weekly time frame. Apologies, guys. You know, my network is a bit slow this week, so let me just quickly do that. Come on, Euro JPY. Come on. Okay. Right, so now this is Euro JPY, guys. So what I'm seeing here on Euro JPY, guys, basically is that we have been on an upward trend and we have been trending up. So now what we're waiting for is for a continuation, right? It's for continuation. So let me just Try to get this to load really nice. My network is very poor today, so it's a bit difficult for me to create videos. So let me just jump on it. Okay, so now guys, what you can see here is that here we have this big impulse, right? And then now what we've been doing here, we've been going up. This is an upward trend. So now these are my previous highs. These are the ones that I want to focus on. So now what's happening here is that we have the impulse, the correction, the impulse, the correction, and then here we had this double top kind of formation right here, right? But then here, what is happening? We have this double top kind of formation. So now what we want to understand now is what is going to happen now when this price comes here. So now, if I can just quickly, let me take this out. Let me take this out. Let me take this out so that you guys can be able to see what I'm talking about here. Okay. So guys, what you can see is that we had this impulse, we had this correction, we had this impulse, and then we had this correction, right? So now this becomes our area of interest, right? So we want to understand now when this price comes back here, we have this strong push. So now let me just go to the 4 hour without wasting any time. So now we have this area of double top right here, right? We have this area of double top of which price came through and it pushed out. So now what we want to understand is that what is price going to give us? Will price give us this move to the downside right here, or will it just slowly go to the upside, right? So that's what we want to see. But then now what we want to see now, we have this. How is price approaching our area here? That is another important thing that we want to understand, right? So now what we can see here from this, our structure here, this was our double top. And then now what we can see here from this, our structure now here, is that we have this correctional structure that has been forming. So there is still a possibility that this price here from here could come and give us, excuse me, a third touch from here and then go to the downside. Okay, so that is one probability that we'll be waiting for. Another probability is that if it doesn't go there, because from here, this cannot be a reversal, because I still think we still need to come and fill up the space before we go to the downside. So from here, what is going to happen now is that there are two things. Either price come and give us this double top formation before it goes down like this, or it can now go and give us that third touch of the structure right here, and then it can go to the downside. So either way, we'll be waiting to take our setup. We'll be waiting to take our sell setup right there for this week. Okay, so from here, if this price breaks here, this is where then now we'll be willing to see. If this price breaks here, we'll check if we get this correction to continue to the downside. All right, but then other than that, now we'll be focusing on what? On this wave to the downside. So if you also want to trade the upside, you can also trade this move to the upside. Okay, so now let me quickly move to the next one without wasting any time, guys. I have like 7 pairs, so I want to be really fast. So now, okay, I have New Zealand Chief here. New Zealand Chief, we still have some area to go to the downside, to fill to the downside. So now what I've been waiting for here is that we have this impulse, and then now what we obviously wait for after an impulse is a correction. So here when I look at the 4 hour, it's shaping up really nice. So I'll just be waiting to see what will happen when this price gets here, but I would really like to see for price to come here and give us this bounce, go to the upside here, and then from here, this is where we'll be willing to take our trades to the downside. Okay, so we'll be willing to take this move to the downside, and then it will be completing the overall move. And then of course, obviously, we still have a lot there. There's still a lot of room to go to the downside, and there's still a lot of room to cover. So guys, this will be the move that we'll be looking for. There's about a 10 rest to 1 of 10 somewhere there. So this will be the move that we'll be looking for next week on New Zealand Chief. So now moving right along, this is USD/JPY. USD/JPY, we have almost the same thing. Okay, what's happening here is this is just an expansion, guys. So expansion, we know what's happening. We have 1, 2, and then here on the bottom side we still have 1, 2 here. So now what's going to happen is still the same thing. We're going to have this should give us this push to the upside here, and then this is aligned to the bigger time frame area of interest. And then when we get this push to the upside here, it will be the 1, 2, third touch, and then here obviously from this third touch we'll wait for price to move to the downside. And then from here on this downside, this is where then now we want to see how price is going to do, and then we'll go to our bigger time frame, and then from here we'll see if price can continue to go to the upside to complete this move, the bigger outside move. Okay, the bigger outside move. So if this could be just a correction, and then this move goes to the upside, and then from this upside 167, that is where then now USD/JPY can open up for this bigger move. So we'll just wait and see what happens, right? So next week, this is what we'll be looking for come next week. Okay, so this is just an expansion from what we can see. This is just an expanding, so it can just go to the upside and then come down, and then that's where we'll be waiting to take this sell position from here all the way to the downside. So there are some nice pips to be bagged. So now moving right along, let's go to US 100. US 100, what is the analysis? Okay, all right, let me just quickly do it with you guys. So what I can see here, okay, what I can see here is that, okay, we are still on the downward trend. We're still trending downwards, and then we just broke a significant low right here. So now after breaking this significant weekly low, what we want to understand is how did we break and what is happening. All right, so now what is happening here now, guys, from what we can see here, we have this area of interest right here. This is exactly where the price went down. So now from here, now this will be our next area of interest, and then at this area, or at this point here on the daily, this is my area of interest, and this is where the price reacted. So now if I quickly go to the 1 hour time frame without wasting any time, what I can see here on the 1 hour time frame, guys, it's simple, it's straightforward. So what I can see here on the 1 hour time frame, this is what I can see. This is how price was going up. It was on an upward trend, and then from here there, guys, remember we sent this one out, right? We did send this one out, but it was more of an expansion, right? It was more of an expansion. So now we did send this one out. So now what's happening here, this price was going up here, and then obviously this price broke out. So now what's happening here is that we are still waiting for price to get to the 90% of this area. So now what's going to happen is that when price gets here, that is then now we want to see what's going to happen, right? So but now from here, if you want to take a trade from here, what I would really recommend is for you to wait for price to pull back. Let me just see something like, if we have something like a head and shoulder there, if price could just give you a pullback, then that is where then now you can be able to give, you can take a trade from here if this price give us this tiny pullback, because obviously we can see we have from this impulse, and then we must get this correction, and then from this correction it could be aligned with this nice shoulder here on the left side, and then we can just go to the downside. But then other than that, we are still having this is the overall bigger structure. If I can just go to the 4 hour, this is the overall bigger structure. Remember guys, we sent this out last week. This is how it was expanding like this, right? This is how the expansion looked like. Let me just put it there. Then that is how we managed to catch this one. So this one was expanding. It's an expanding. Let me just put it nicely like that. So it was expanding from last week. So I did send it out. Remember guys, I did send it out. I said that when this price comes back and breaks back into this area here, if it breaks back into this area, we'll get a correction and a continuation. So this is exactly what we got. So now what we're waiting to see is if price gets here and give us this tiny bounce before or anything, but then we'll just be waiting to see what is going to be happening here. So now moving right along to US 30 is the same thing, guys. It's almost the same thing as this one, and this one of US 30, I like it because it's mostly clear. It looks a bit more clear than NAS 100. So this can be a nice head and shoulder. It can push all the way to the downside, give us a nice head and shoulder before it continues the move to the downside. Guys, remember the recession is on, guys. The recession is on. So I don't know if you are going to be still looking for big buys on these indices. I don't know why, but then the recession is still on. So now German 30, guys, it's almost the same thing with German 30. We sent this one out just also last week. So here also last week we were looking for this kind of expansion that has been happening here. So this price here just expanded there. So now we are looking for the same thing here. If I can just remove this one, and I have my shoulder right here, right about here. So we'll be looking for almost the same thing here on German 30 together with the other indices. So if I can just put this here, we could just get a move pushing to here, and then giving us this nice shoulder, and then it continues to the downside. So guys, there is nothing to be scared of. The markets are going to be nice. The markets are moving nicely. So guys, I hope you like the content that we are providing you. Please hit the like and subscribe button, don't forget. And then other than that, if you need to ask us anything, or if you want to subscribe, or if you want to pay for mentorship, you know where to find us. Other than that, cheers guys, enjoy, have a nice trading week.